The Alaskan bush people has non-stop drama and is among the greatest reality shows ever. Reality docudrama series descended into tragedy, nonetheless, due to a string of horrific occurrences interspersed with the drama. Today, we're delving into the string of catastrophes that the Brown family has endured, including the tragic loss of Noah Brown, a cherished member of the family, who was followed by the show. Even though filming has ceased, the tension is heating up. Where secrets are revealed, family relationships are strained, and tragedy takes center stage, this drama cuts deeper than the Alaskan chill. Noah Brown is the first person we will discuss now. Billy Brown, Noah's father, passed away on February 7, 2021, after a seizure. The news devastated Noah. Following Bear Brown's 2020 revelation that the family's house was destroyed in the Washington wildfires of that year, this occurred. Despite how terrible they are, these events are hardly Noah Brown's worst sorrows. Noah resembles a practical technopath. Using a limb from a tree and some fishing line, he could construct a wireless router. I know it's a stretch, but I think you understand the point. As the Brown family's resident genius, Noah has long used the uncharted territory of Alaska as a testbed for his engineering projects. He learned to fix everything around the house, from rigging a water pump to making his own tools. The intriguing part is that Noah's intellect simplified life for the Brown family off the grid, but his true intentions were elsewhere. The love of his life, Rain Alicia, had his undivided attention. All the Alaskan bush people fans' wedding dreams came true in 2018. Though it is related to his worst tragedy, Noah's road to love was not the story's sole high point. Noah, who was born on July 18, 1992, spent his formative years among Alaska's natural splendor. He wholeheartedly embraced a life defined by unbridled freedom and unbreakable familial bonds. Behind the scenes, though, things were considerably more complicated, even though he seemed to have all a person could desire: adventure, independence, and a close-knit family. Survival wasn't always assured when living so far from civilization, and there were challenges that the majority of us couldn't have imagined. Striking a balance between meeting basic nutritional needs, constructing safe havens, and preserving family unity was an ongoing challenge. The Browns endured not only physical but also emotional seclusion as they dealt with the normal ups and downs of family life. The Brown family's ability to tell their tale through the Alaskan bush people was invaluable. It was clear that Noah had an innate gift for creativity and solving problems, as well as his unfaltering composure when challenged. You could always rely on him to get things done in a flash. Family meant the world to Noah and his siblings, just as it had always done. As viewers witnessed the family's unity in battle and in love, this concept was a driving force behind the show's emotional core. But there are a few subtleties that a lot of people overlooked. I bet you didn't realize that not all of Alaska was used to film Alaskan bush people. Other places, such as Hoonah and Chichagof Island, were used for filming. Tragedies like the ones this family went through can't be staged, but it seems that not everything we witness is genuine. But first, I think it would be helpful to get to know the Brown family and their quirks. The Brown family's message of unity has been discussed before. "We're all in this together, no matter what," is the foundation around which their entire lives have been constructed. Unpredictable weather, financial difficulties, and family issues were no match for the strength of their bond. In subtler forms, such as when one brother casually pokes fun at another, these family fights can arise. On other occasions, it's more blatant, like when family members get angry or argue over the company's future. These occurrences, dramatic as they may be, are not surprising. Arguments arise within families frequently. Do you have any opinions? Many of these disagreements arise in the commercial sphere. Keeping the house afloat while running a show is no picnic. Every member of the Brown family has their own unique perspective on the best way to run the company, how much money should be invested, and how everyone should contribute. A high-stakes family board game is the best way to describe it. Though they may disagree on the regulations, everyone is using their own strategy. Many people can relate to the Brown family's narrative because of the conflicts, drama, and difficulties they faced. How they resolve their conflicts, cling to what's important, and press on is what has attracted fans. And we can all learn from it, isn't that? Despite the fact that neither life nor families are ideal, the key may lie in remaining united and supporting one another. In your opinion, what was the show's most compelling aspect? Was it the closeness of familial ties or the tension caused by their arguments? Regarding dramatic events, 2016 has one of the most talked about ones on the program. Then what transpired? Alright, Let's dive in. Falsifying information to receive Alaska's Perpetual Fund Dividend, PFD, was a charge against members of the Brown family, notably Billy and Joshua Bam Brown. Those who have resided in Alaska for a year or more and want to remain permanently are eligible to receive the Permanent Fund Distribution, PFD. Is it then fraud? Despite allegedly spending a great deal of time outside of Alaska, the Browns maintained residency in the state. Incredible, isn't it? Billy and Bam were involved in legal issues and ultimately pled guilty to second-degree unsworn falsification, a misdemeanor. As part of their sentence, the family was placed on 30-day house arrest and fined thousands of dollars. Although they were not sentenced to jail time, their reputation took a major hit because of the incident. This incident cast a shadow over a family that was previously depicted as independent and law-abiding residents of the wilderness. People clearly weren't familiar enough with one of their beloved TV families. Why would they have felt pressured to commit fraud? The situation for Noah and his family escalates further. Rain Brown was an integral part of the Alaskan Bush people's history, much as Noah was to his family. Rain didn't always have to be a part of the show, but she added a new burst of energy whenever she did. She was the youngest of the Brown children and became an icon of innocence, hope, family togetherness, and progress because of all she had been through. Above all else, she demonstrated to the world the unwavering devotion that is inherent in their family. But Rain is struggling with some shadowy aspects of herself, and things aren't always as they appear. Rain, too, was never one to back down from a challenge, whether it was pitching in around the house to aid her siblings or tackling projects that appeared too big for her age. She played an essential role in keeping the Brown family united. It would appear that Noah and Rain Alicia are not huge admirers of her. Are we clear on what we mean? Does the affection that the Brown family shows seem insincere? How is it that Noah's family might be causing him problems? Is there a link between this and the shadow side of Rain? What does Noah have to do with this? Although Noah was creative and good at finding solutions to problems, there was one that he struggled with. He struggled to manage his expanding family responsibilities against his responsibilities to the Brown legacy. The added stress of raising two children with his wife only made the situation worse. Noah failed miserably at maintaining equilibrium and instead leaned heavily on his bond with Rain. This caused some friction among fans as well as members of the family. The role that Rain played within the family dynamic was not well received by all viewers. The situation was further complicated by whispers of animosity between her and Rain Brown and other members. Some viewers have hypothesized that Rain's differences of opinion with Noah's siblings, especially Rain Brown, who saw her name change from Ruth as an attempt to replace her, are at the root of the problems amongst the siblings. Rain didn't appear to be overjoyed to be joining a bigger family or eager to establish limits, but picture yourself attempting to do so in a household where members are accustomed to sticking together no matter what. No amount of boundary setting by Noah and Ryan could have avoided upsetting the rest of the family. In your opinion, were they able to do it? The whole off-grid lifestyle argument happened while Noah was dealing with family squabbles. Many have questioned the sincerity of the Brown family's outdoor exploits throughout the years. These conversations frequently revolved on Noah, the tech-savvy problem solver. Due to Noah's apparent ease in constructing a functional device in remote areas using just spare components, onlookers questioned the family's level of off-grid living. Can we really hold him responsible for being resourceful, though? It certainly demonstrates his inventiveness. Social media brought unwelcome attention to Noah while he dealt with that. There have been issues with Noah's online presence, as there have been with most public people. His messages have occasionally caused controversy, whether he was sharing too personal moments with his admirers or clapping back at them. Noah has learned the hard way that there are pros and cons to using social media. Adopting a public persona isn't a picnic, and controversy is inevitable along the way. His social media gaffes pale in comparison to his tragedy. The details are still unclear, but many have underestimated the severity of the conflict between Noah's wife and Rain. Just goes to prove that reality TV doesn't tell the whole story. In the shadows of the cameras, real-life problems unfold, not even the Browns escape them. In August 2024, Noah and his wife took legal action by filing a restraining order against Rain. It was really mind-blowing for admirers of the Alaskan Bush people. How could a fictional family that seemed so close come to the brink of legal action? Claims of intimidation and harassment were made by Noah Brown and his wife. They said Rain was abusive, had a history of violent threats, and used drugs. On top of that, they said she made them quite distressed emotionally. Concern about the safety of their children was another issue that the couple brought up. What the hey? Does the person supposedly doing all this work for Rain match the one that fans know? Rain allegedly endangered Noah's life and displayed unpredictable conduct, which Noah described in detail. He stated that she had offered narcotics to their mother, Amy Brown, and that she used cocaine and meth. The court rejected the restraining order notwithstanding the gravity of Noah's accusations because of procedural mistakes and a lack of evidence. In her defense, Rain Brown used social media to discuss mental health and highlight her genuine self. In an Instagram video, Rain vented her anger at Noah's wife, Rain, for rebranding herself as Rain instead of Ruth. On top of that, she said that Noah had circulated rumors about her. Rain spoke frankly about her battles with mental illness, including suicide ideation, and how she used marijuana to alleviate her symptoms. Even though they were different, she ended her message by wishing Noah a good Christmas. In the midst of intense public scrutiny, the Brown family faces complicated and frequently unpleasant dynamics as they deal with individual struggles and family ties. According to reports, the restraining order was only the beginning of the growing friction between the parties involved. Fans and even members of her own family have been critical of Rain Alicia. It must have been difficult to adapt to life as a Brown, what with all eyes on you and the cameras recording. Reports indicate that Rain's relationship with her sister-in-law Rain was increasingly difficult due to disagreements on boundaries and family dynamics. Noah and Rain Alicia were granted the restraining order, even though the court had reservations about it at first. It may look like one side has won, but the Brown family isn't exactly celebrating. Unfortunately, there are additional emotional expenses associated with legal outcomes. The Brown family business was hurt hard by the aftermath of the drama, which occurred after the dust had settled. It was a hole in that flawless story. Plus, let's face it, the fans took note. Alaskan Bush People is a show about a family that stays together through thick and thin. Thus, many people were taken aback when the restraining order became public knowledge. The fans aren't the only ones affected by this unfortunate circumstance. Ad agencies get apprehensive if there is controversy. Additionally, funding begins to dwindle as marketers grow anxious. Merchandise and brand partnerships with the family that were formerly successful appear to have failed. Who would want to invest in the Bush family way of life if they themselves are unable to get along? It's like if you were to ask a group that can't make it through Thanksgiving dinner unscathed for advice on how to survive in the woods. Doubts about the authenticity of the Alaskan Bush People became the subject of another heated debate. Some viewers and critics have felt that the show inflated or even staged some aspects of the family's lifestyle. According to the reports, the Browns' rural home was exaggerated for the sake of the show. While on occasion they stayed in hotels or other more contemporary housing while filming was underway. Some have also said that the show was too scripted or dramatic at points for the sake of entertainment. Viewers who believed in the show's concept of extreme wilderness survival felt betrayed by these charges. Although the Browns have been mostly silent on these accusations, the whispers have persisted, lending an air of suspicion to their story. The legal troubles and charges of staging were discouraging for supporters who admired their hardiness, independence, and integrity. A change in public opinion from adulation to distrust can have serious ramifications for commercial partnerships, sponsorship deals, and product sales. The true killer, though? Future partnerships were likely made more difficult by this situation. If further public backlash is possible, who will agree to work with the Browns on a project? Sure, the Browns are resilient and have been through worse, but this? Its impact was felt. Who knows? Maybe they'll come back even stronger, or maybe this rivalry will ruin their reputation. Do you have any opinions? Is the Brown family empire about to collapse, or can they get it together? Will the family unit as a whole perish? The family company was more than a job for Noah Brown. It was who he was. As a result, you can understand the extent to which it stung when everything began to come apart. Over the course of many years, Noah had used his resourcefulness and perseverance to establish the family brand. All of that seemed to be slipping through his fingers due to a fallout between his wife and his sister. Achieving fame and fortune wasn't the only goal. Something he had dedicated himself to was at stake. And above all else, Noah is a family guy. His life revolved around the Browns, and he thought the family business would be the unifying force. Seeing the same adhesive cause their foundation to crumble? Surely that hurt. However, Noah likely felt it personally because of who he is. That kind of guy doesn't just shrug it off. When something breaks, he's the one who takes charge and fixes it. He must have felt like a failure when he was unable to resolve this issue, even though it was not his responsibility. Is Noah ever able to take a step back and ask himself, was it all worth it? It must feel like a cruel joke when everything starts to go apart due to drama he couldn't control, the long days, the sacrifices, the burden of being the family genius.